everybody out there in keyboard land, Bad Mark here with Mac Tech, and today we're going to do a super quick modification of this really cheap board that can be found, 60% board that can be found on Amazon. Now I have bought, this is the RGB version, but I have bought the single backlit version, which is a yellow. Yeah, I think they have one that is a bluish white and one that is just a yellow, gold almost. But this is actually the first one that I got that is an RGB. Usually single colors list anywhere from like $13.99 to $29.99, but have coupons and discounts. I've bought the single color one as cheap as $8.99. They make great gifts, and they're super simple, super quick boards to work on and modify, and they make great gifts. Actually, both of my teenage daughters actually currently are running these boards modified, obviously with their own keycap set, and they love it. So this one here is the RGB, which again is it's a decent board. It does come with hot swap sockets. So although today I'm gonna do a quick and dirty of what this this keyboard, how it can be made to sound and how it can be improved with, I mean, very little effort if you really think about it. Now this one is RGB version. It was listed for $29.99, but it had a $10 coupon next to it, so it came out to $19.99 plus tax, with Prime shipped obviously for free. So take a look in here. We've got the manual that has the controls for all of the functions, you know, how to access the extra layer, and all the RGB lighting and controls in English and Chinese. We have the extra tools. Yes, I did already open it. It does have a couple of extra switches that it comes with. The cheap plastic keycap puller, which I usually like to throw those away. Why? They scratch keys. Everyone tells you not to use them. In case you didn't know, they have a good potential to scratch the key. So this is a blue switch, the clicky. I'm not the biggest fan of clicky, but I don't hate them. And it comes with a couple extra switches and an extra orange space bar and escape key. Go ahead and check that. As you can see, I already put on the orange keycap space bar, but it won't we do the escape as well. Right? So go ahead and take these, put them to the side. It show you it also has it, well, obviously it has a cable, and the cable does have the elbow because this is at a 90-degree angle port right here. Now the plate is made out of it's probably steel. It could be aluminum, but it feels pretty heavy. I would guess it's steel if I had to take a wild guess, but we don't need this. Now, go ahead and get it out of the way. So obviously, first things first, I'll speed this up for you guys. I mean, how many times can you watch somebody pull out keycaps from a keyboard, huh? So, I hope I sped that up for you guys, but while I was doing that, I remembered that I have some Akko switches that I wanted to try out, and I know Akko switches fit in here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and take out the switches and replace them anyway, because I mean, I've already got them and I've been wanting to try them. And I said, hey, this seems as good as a time as any since I'm already here. So let me go ahead and pull out these switches. So that way we'll actually be able to, so I wasn't going to take these out. I was going to do a quick and dirty lube, but that's ugly. These Akko switches, I've already prepped them. They are actually already pre-lubed, at least they should be. I'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure I did. Oh, wait a minute. I also have some, I do have some Iceberg linear switches I got from Keep Monkey not too long ago, and I've been wanting to try those as well. And I'm curious to see if those Momoka, I believe that's the brand, will actually fit in here, because I do know, that's one thing about this board. It is a hot swap board, but it is using the MillMaxx style hot swap sockets. Now, for those of you that don't know, the MillMaxx are the round little holes down there. These are one type, which the Otemu brand uses, I think exclusively. I don't think they've done anything but the MillMaxx, which means that there are some switches. In my personal experience, the only brand that does not work with these is Kale. Now, Kale does make hot swap sockets, and they do make their switches with one of the legs just slightly wider than the other. And every single time they end up bending the leg, and they will eventually break off. But Gatoron, Akko, let me see, I got a couple other brands that do work just fine. I tried the Red Dragon, but the Red Dragon had Otemu type sockets as well. So of course their switches work. The Ajaz switches, I believe, is another one that I have. So the Momoka is a brand that I have yet to try in these. Now, if they are 5-pin, obviously I won't, because I know I can clip the legs and use them, but I have some other 5-pin boards I could use those in, and I'd rather not clip the pins if I don't have to. So let's go ahead and get these pulled out of here. Oh, yeah, that's what I did here. Just what I was talking about. I broke the housing because well, the switches broke. Holy mackerel. Oh, look at that. I think the switch is actually stuck on the motherboard. Now, we may have actually a faulty. It's like soldered in there. This puppy is not coming out. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Let's see if we can come at that one from behind. Huh. Yeah, because it's trying to pull the PCB with it. I wonder if this would be the first board out of probably a dozen or more of these EU suits that I've bought. It's actually damaged in some form of way. I've had bad switches, but that's about it. I'm hoping that's the case here. I'm not actually dealing with. I see one leg, but this leg just doesn't want to come out for some reason. I may need to desolder that puppy out. But obviously we don't want to break it in there, so let's go ahead and hiding right there. Now I need my cup to store all of my screws in. Let's go ahead. If you don't have one of these electric screwdrivers, I highly recommend getting one. It makes life so much easier. It really does. Okay, so you can go like. Now there's a brand name one that's out there. I forget the name of it. I think it's Magic Stick or something like that. Which costs 40, 50 bucks. This one I got, I believe, on sale, but I am a Primesiac. There's a little trick. I don't know if you guys shop Prime or not, but everybody's always asking me about these boards and how I find out about coupons. Here's a little trick. I don't know. I've never heard of it. I just did it myself. I find items that I like. I put them into my cart and I save for later. And then I have a page on my browser. It's always refreshing the cart. And anytime a price changes on any of the items that I have put in the save for later cart will actually notify me. Now, sometimes obviously it's the price of an item going up, but sometimes it will let me know that the price of an item is going down, or there is a coupon or promotion available and will take X amount off the price. So, being a programmer, I could probably write something that would check that for me and notify me based on preset criteria, but I kind of just do it manually. It works. All right, did we get all the screws? I think we did. So we just got these little plastic pieces that are kind of holding the bottom of the case in. Make sure don't pull too hard in the case. Oh yeah, I did miss one screw. That's the whole thing with this, because they're the same black, so they just blend in so well. Got a good number of screws there, but I think we've got them all. And the rest are just plastic pull tabs, which are fairly easy to pop through without breaking. Oh, alright, so we got that. Alright, so now we're in here. Let's see what's going on with this switch. Why is this switch not coming out? No, that's the wrong side. It's over here. See? We see the solder back here, but that's the solder for the hot socket. This is not the solder for the... I'm probably going to mess this up. Even if I loosen the hot swap socket, I mean, I'd have to take the whole thing out. If I desolder it, I just don't understand why. Oh, if I can get underneath there, maybe I can. This switch is obviously done. I just hope the hot swap socket isn't. But if I can actually get under there. Alright, so we got the leg stuck in there. So we're going to have to pull this puppy out, because the leg is definitely stuck in there. It got soldered in there. So this is going to take a little bit more work than I'd like. So what I'm going to do is I got the soldering station in my print room. So I'm just going to try to solder and pull that socket out and see if I can, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, the only thing I can think of is to actually replace it with a cable. a hot swap socket, which would be kind of funny, but I mean, kind of need that one. So, yeah. All right, we'll be back. All right, so we've gone ahead and fixed this. We replaced the socket. It's a very sloppy job. I'm going to be fixing that up before we finish it up, but I wanted to just get back to this. So I have been, I mean, I know that on KBD Fans and on Amazon there are some of the pre-cut foam strips for the back of the, between the plate and the PCB, and to be quite honest, $10 for, I mean, what amounts to a couple of grams of neoprene foam, to me just seems extremely expensive. Now this is the particular way that I like doing this. I have a cutter, and I put these, take these in the cutter. Yeah, here's the cutter. Yeah. And I take these and I cut these into strips. They're not usually perfect. Like that one's a little fat, but that's when I break out the scissors. And obviously, since this is it, you know, normally seen, it can be a little messy. Basically, the biggest thing that we want to do here is to foam up any spots of contact between the PCB and the plate. See, now this one, it's going to be a little bit too thick, and I can just go ahead and, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. I know we like to make it look perfect, but at least I know this works for me. Right there. I like to do it with the stabs in place. This way, what I'm going to be able to do is still do the modification for the stabs, and hopefully this is not going to interfere, because we want the stabilizers to sit nice and flush on the plate, and we're going to get to that in a minute as well. Went a little bit too far there, so let's see what we got. Yep, looks like we're good on this. Oh, actually, I kind of do want to shave a little bit off, so I'll make it even skinnier. Once we've got it, actually better to do it with the white side down because it's going to be the sticky part. Alright, so see how we're clear over here. I want to make sure we're clearing the hole for where the switch goes through. So over here we're going to have to cut a little bit of this off, make it just a tad skinnier, so we're not interfering. I mean, it most likely would fit, but it's best not to, because we're dealing with millimeters here, so every little bit counts. We want to make sure that it fits and there's no issues. Alright, let's see what we got now. Oh, we are almost there. Shave a little bit more. Oh yeah. So we're good. Oh. Good. Let's go ahead and take off backing. Yeah, it does take a little bit more time, so I mean, I guess really you want to figure out the trade-off is buying it a little bit better, because it saves you the time of actually having to do this cut and fit yourself, or is it worth it? Obviously here we want to make sure I don't get too much into that groove. Alright. And I like to stretch mine out as I lay it out. That makes it just that much more thinner. And obviously, like I said, every little bit of space counts. They don't work with these boards. These, as we learned, is these are the MillMaxx type sockets. This is the one that was in there. I don't know if you could see it, but that's the one that broke off. It's still got the leg in there, but I had to replace it. And their switches will not work in these because one of their legs is a little bit, just that much wider, that 100th of a millimeter wider, so it won't fit into these round pegs. Yeah, well, that's the way they wanted to design it, so I guess, you know, hey, it works with Kale Hot Swap, so they got no issue with it, right? Alright, since we only got a little bit of a gap over here on these, let's see if we can cut out these last little pieces so we can just do one continuous row. gotta find where I put my grease. There it is. Alright. Let's go ahead and do one by one. Go ahead and just press this little tab. And they come out. Stabilizers are a pretty basic thing. Now the ones on here aren't good, but they aren't necessarily bad either. You just give it a twist and turn where you see that point, then the stabilizer bar does come out. Looks like they had the tiniest amount of grease in here, but you know, some is better than none. And out of each of these plastic parts, you're going to come up with it's actually the stem of the stabilizer. And what we're going to see that we have here are these two little legs. Now, obviously they're there for a purpose, but they don't serve our purpose none. Now, a lot of these will come with actually two legs that have this little, I guess you could call it a foot. But these do not. So on these, I only cut off the ones that have the leg. That's the reason for snipping it off, because the ongoing theory is that that little clip is what hits onto the PCB and can actually damage it over time. So we're just clipping this little leg off. Only one, because that one already seems to have, is usually opposite of each other. And that one's gone. So it looks like these were actually only designed with the one. So again, we're just going for the one with the foot, or the piece that clips or is going up or towards the PCB, and we clip that off completely, not just halfway. At that point, we get our lube, and honestly, it's just easier. Once you got it all down, you can just kind of do this. Stick one end in. Oh, got lube. Stick the other end in. I got lube, and I use the super lube. It's been fine for me. I haven't had any complaints. It's what was recommended from the get-go, and I've always used it. And I've never had any reason not to. So we got this lube. I probably should have lubed it after I had the pieces in here. What we need to do now is stick the legs back into their respective holes, and we got to make sure we got it the right way. And we're going to do the same thing but opposite, going in down on there. We're going to go through the hole of the. Oh, do I have it in there backwards? I may just have. Oh, I'm trying to go into the wrong way. Gotta make sure they don't go on. Try to go on the side where the clip is, because that's just not going to work. All right, turn. And you know you're there when it goes up and down. It should be on the inside. All right, we got the one. Let's get the other. Oh, let's not lose them. Stick you in. This is the side we want to go in. This way. One of these is backwards. I believe it's this way. I could do that. So flip it upside down, put it back in, and bring it as far around. Make sure that this is. There we go. And it's backwards. Ha 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 ha. So, I believe we have it in there. We'll correct it by this time. And you know what? No, I don't think we do. There's some sort of... Huh. Best way to find out is just to clip these puppies on. And here they go this way. Alright. Goes right in there. The long leg is going to be on the other side. Yeah, I've done this before, but you wouldn't think I have. Alright. Take these out. Alright, yeah, this is the top, and we have the long leg, and it's still intact. Let's go on the inside. That's the top. Alright, yeah, because that's where it's receiving. Alright, I see it now. I see it now. These are slightly different than the other ones that we used to, so. Alright, so that one's open, right? Do the same with this. So right side up, and then make sure this one. Yeah, because that's the spot. But basically, we just want to make sure that this slot for the bar is facing the top of the stabilizer. That's what we're going to put into. Alright, now that we have that done, we're going to break down. Now, this is called a Band-Aid mod, but basically all it's using is, this is what's called medical tape. So, we take, and basically we want to pad, to make it a little bit tighter, where these standoffs actually clip onto the plate. I'm going to take a strip like this, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this down the middle. Set this aside. This one might work later. This tape is cheap. I'd rather use the tape than actually use a Band-Aid because, well, I've got kids. Band-Aids come in handy. Usually cutting a strip and cutting this in half will work for each side. What I like to do is put a little bit on the top and then wrap it. So it's kind of going around the entire spot where the stabilizer clips onto. One on that side, and one on this side. Oh, that's the sticky part.
that's not perfect. Again, our intent here is not perfection, but more of a gap filler. Make sure that that puppy has as much grip on here without any extra space. Sorry, took you out of frame. And the piece just go to serve. Go ahead and cut that extra piece off. Obviously, we don't need that. Doing this kind of work, tweezers aren't indispensable, I'm telling you. There we go, where your fat fingers, at least my fat fingers won't go. Alright. Yeah, I'm doubling up on that one because I don't like how little it sticks. We're also going to put, while we're in it, go ahead and cut. What we want to do with these, we're going to actually put these on the PCB at the spot where the stabilizers actually touch. And then we're also going to put a little grease on there as well. Already seems to be some. Alright, so now let's go ahead and bar in first and then snap. Yeah. So we can do a comparison. That's not moving. It's not going anywhere. But let's take one. See? These aren't going anywhere. So just to show you the difference that the stabilizer mod can do. So we're going to go ahead and do it for the next one, and then the rest of them.
inside. See, like with this, I don't know when it's up to heat. Like obviously I'm not gonna touch it and find out the hard way. But so I'm going to use solder. Alright, oh, we're getting there. Definitely. I got my fan on over here. It's basically silent. But it's just a PC fan. Running a little bit faster than it should, but it seems to do the trick anyway. I don't smell the fumes like I did before I used the fan. Here I'm just making sure to get any random solder off the tip so that I can get maximum heat conductivity. Like we're there. So. Do the whole iman, or do the clip, whatever. I can't keep track of the names of each of these modifications. Alright, those are clipped. So, now we got this open. Let's go ahead and, well, we have it open. Let's go ahead and open. We'll gallop there. I mean, we want it to be nice and lubed, but it shouldn't be dripping in excess. I mean, a little extra isn't going to hurt. Alright, so we take these, them up. Up is where the bar will lock into. And then we take the longer side of the leg, and it goes into the inside. So, once we have that there, what we're trying to do is keep that inside of there while we bring this in this way. Make sure that we're going through the stem, and you can see it in here. It's going through the stem. At that point, go ahead and turn it and lock it into place. And we're going to do the same thing for the other side. Oh, do recall that has some. Probably should just leave it right before I go in. So we got the top of it right here. We've got the long leg on the inside. And then I'll go ahead and do this one more time. So, go in the hole here. And then turn it, make sure on the back that it's inside. Boom, we've got it. Oh, and this is backwards. Make sure you do it on the right side. Oh, is this one? Oh, I think we might have an issue with this one. Now, you have stable stabilizers. All of these should be perfect. And then make sure they move up and down. That way I have stuck keys. Just another small thing that adds a little back support to the PCB and does a little bit of sand dampening.
working on this EU C11. And now we're going to work on a case. We've done the work on the PCB as well as on the plate, foam plate. We've also gone ahead and taped up the back of the PCB, cutting out the holes to make sure that we have enough places for the pins on the switches to go through. Now, we've got this piece of foam right here, which fortunately I think might be a little bit too thick. Thicker than that. Hey, you got a pair of calipers, isn't that what? So actually, looks like this is two pieces if I can split it. I don't think it's going to cleanly split. It doesn't want to anyway. So we can get this cut or bisected. And I think it would be perfect. Looks like it's sealed together. That's just going to turn the message. So, that's just not going to work. This is just too thick. Might work in another case. Not going to work in this one. So, one thing that I've been doing as of late here, and it's actually turned out pretty good, is I take some of these rare coins, coins that are hard to find nowadays, and I just add a few to the bottom plate. Well, we'll cover it. Just add a few, just to give it a bit of weight. And also, the metal does give it a bit more sound dampening features. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to grab a few. That wasn't supposed to come down. We're going to use a few pence. Not a 30, 40 cents. Now we're going to go ahead and lay them out first. Want to make sure. I don't need them crowded. Don't need them every single spot. Just want to try to spread them out evenly. That's the biggest thing. I want to try to get a nice, even weight distribution. I'm not going to stack any on top of the other, because we don't want to take away from the space where we're going to be putting some drawer liner. That's what we're going to be using for the padding. I like to use drawer liner, not because it's already holy, and it makes for good stretchy material. Alright, so yeah, we got just about right amount of coins. So we don't want to go too nuts. We just want to do some nice even spread as much as possible. Obviously not going to be perfect, never expect it to be. Just whatever we can do to try to get nice little distribution. And for this part, I like to use hot glue. like to use the Gorilla hot glue because it works pretty good. And don't let the name fool you, it is hot. So be careful getting it on your fingers, so it will burn. You just need a little dab. You don't need much. A little bit of hot glue will go a long way. I usually press and then try to slide it a bit. That flattens that out. Make sure that we're not getting a bump in there, and make sure we get a nice spread all over the corner. As you notice, it's not perfect, but again, just trying to add some weight at the bottom. Even a couple of coins would do the trick. But the more that we add, the easier that the weight spreads across the entire border, so it feels more even. So, that's what we're going for, right? Premium feelings at a budget price. Yeah, you're gonna get these stringies. It's usually just easy to clean them all up at once at the end, but I'm kind of getting bothered by them right now. Actually, my fault. It's the way that you use the gun. I am not a perfectionist when it comes to using the gun. You're supposed to wipe it on the object so the stringies don't appear. I haven't been doing that properly. piece cut out from another board, but it didn't fit. So I'm going to go ahead and use this little guy to foam it up. I'm going to double up around the corners because this is all we're going to really need. I don't think we have to double up on 2 pieces of foam. We'll see. Let's see what we get out of this. Let's see. Your mileage may vary. All right. I think we've got that in. Now, what do we got here? Well, fingers crossed. This puppy fits. That's going to be the bottom on there. Don't want any lip from you, mister. I think we are good. Now I can get the USB to come up the port there. We just got to make sure. Go down straight. Alright, I'm going to take her back out for a second. 51 trim some. Around the USB port, we want to make sure that we got enough of it. Because obviously the port's not clear, kind of defeats the whole purpose, no? So. Fit while still going into the USB port. Alright, so see, we're almost there. But I think screwing it down should go the rest of the way before we were Alright, so let's see what we got with the plate now. We don't want to press too much, but we want to give it some force. Because you can see, give it pressure, it fits. I think we can get it. Let's screw a couple in and see what happens. Of course. That guy. Obviously, we don't want to screw too hard because we don't want to strip the threads, especially in this board as it's a plastic threads. In a lot of case, obviously we could always get a replacement, but we're trying to go budget here. All right, I had to switch out batteries there, but we almost got this puppy closed up. 2 more screws. One goes here. Back, stop. Don't tighten no more. Alright, there's one more. Ah, right in front of my face. Again, this is plastic, so drive it straight. It's sturdy, but not too hard. I'm going to go past that. Alright, so what do we got? Looks like we have decent seal. It's meant to be there in the front, and we got the USB where it needs to be, just to make sure. Alright. So, now we've got this board feeling pretty solid. And it's definitely nice and solid. What are we going to do for this board when it comes to switches? We're going to go with some Akko Matcha Greens. And these are some Akko linears. And these have a 50-gram operating force and a 4mm travel force. So these I got a while back, and I've honestly just been loving these. And right now on Amazon, I believe they're under $12 for a pack of 45. So it's a steal. I mean, these are some of the better linears. I mean, even stock, they're usable. But these have already been pre-lubed. They actually came out of a board that I had. So we're going to go ahead and just go ahead and stick them in and go for broke here. Huh? Now, one of the things I do like to do with, especially these 10 boards, is keep it on a keyboard tester and actually use it as a guide to make sure that my keys are actually, or my switches are actually in the hole. 4%. Now let's put the original key caps back on. Okay. And that's my solder fan getting caught on my little IKEA plans. Sorry about that, fan. Didn't mean to screw you up there. Camera gonna go into play here soon. Here's the cable. I actually like that it comes with an elbow cable since the port is on the side. But let's go ahead and keep this back on. We'll stick with the orange space bar and orange escape key. See a little bit of tape there, but we'll fix that later. Now, for the side test, what did we take this board from? Oh yeah, we gotta fix it over there too. I got a couple of spots. But right now, what does this board sound like? Now, after we've basically put a few cents in worth of modding, literally cents, and we used less than 2 packs of these, $12 per pack, so less than $24 in switches. What do we have?
Hi folks, this is an Iyusu Z11. It's a board that can be found on Amazon. This is the RGB version, so there's a little bit more. Single colored version I've seen on sale and purchased myself for as low as $8.99. This is what this board with, this one's got red switches, sounds like, out of the box. I don't know if that ping comes across, but it's quite pingy. It does have a steel plate, ABS plastic construction on the bottom, and a lot of hollowness in there. Actually make it ping. I mean, it's that steel plate that's pinging right there, because there is no separation. There's no foam. There's no insulation between the PCB and the plate. So $8.99, but what do you get? You know, you get your pick of switches. I know I probably shouldn't be trying to pull off a keycap with my fingers, but you get your pick of switches. This one's come with red, but these are hot swappable. Now these are Otemu or MillMaxx style hot swap sockets, so just keep in mind, Kale and box style switches will most likely not work with this board, but Gatorons, any of the Akkos, any of those will work fine. But as you can hear, this is what it sounds like out of the box. So let's put that one back in the box and let's put one out. Wow, it's actually twice as heavy. This one is, as you can see, also the Iyusu Z11. This one has been modified. I've actually put a 2-part silicone in the bottom mixed with pennies to provide it more weight. And I've taped the back of the PCB, and I've also foamed with silicone foaming. I mean, not silicone foam strips, neoprene strips. I'm sorry, neoprene. I neoprened between the plate and the PCB, and these are running Matcha Green from Akko. They're linear switches. I believe they're 55-gram linear switches. This one originally came with the reds as well. So let's see what this sounds like compared to the stock.